Hello, dear friends. Welcome to the Daily Creative Challenge. My name is Julia Masalska, and today we're going to be working on brand guidelines, which is going to be really exciting. Last week we kind of started with our assets, but today we're kind of gonna go sum it up and create a whole brand guideline for us. And welcome everyone who is in the chat. Anthony, Tunch, good to see you guys. George, Harsha, Lisa Marie, cool. Let me know where y'all are from. Julia, hi, Valdeir, Wade, Noor, cool. So many familiar faces. All right, guys. So I'm gonna jump right into it because we have a lot of work today. So let's quickly take a look at our link to the Discord channel. So this is how you can participate in the daily creative challenges. I mean, this is where you can submit your daily creative challenges for review, and they're going to be reviewed in the live streams during this week. And also, I'm going to be there, and some of the mentors are going to be there to help you out and give you some feedback. Cool. Gregory is here from Washington, D.C. Good to see you all. Hot South Florida. I wish. We still have a little bit of cold weather here in Colorado, but it's getting there. Cool. Let's take a look at our Daily Creative Challenge page. So this is where you can see and unlock the Daily Creative Challenges. If you go a little further down, you will see every day there is a new challenge to be unlocked. We started off last week and we're going to finalize our holistic project this Friday. So you should also stay tuned for that. This week is going to be more about executing, using the assets that we've already created. So I'm really excited about that. And for that, we need a brand guideline because we want to set ourselves guides on how to use our logo, how to use our colors, and how to not use them. And this is what the brand guidelines are for, actually. So here at the top of the page, you will also see the chat with the community button. This is where you get guided to the Discord channel. And this is how the channel looks like. You submit your challenges under the hashtag challenge. And there's also other hashtags where you can also write something nice. You can get a portfolio review, for example, or you can ask questions. You can get or share tips and tricks, career advice, and so on. So this is our Discord channel. Okay, so for now, I would like you guys to see some of the brand guidelines I prepared for you. I mean, not I've prepared, but I've prepared the links. And we're going to take a look, for example, how Netflix, how NASA, and how the North Face are doing it. So you get kind of an idea what brand guidelines are and what they're for. So this is, for example, the Netflix ones. On the brand side, they're sharing brand assets, but this is actually for anybody who wants to use their logo. So this is just a brand guideline for the logo, and here you can also download it. So here they, for example, are specifying the exact Netflix red color. So this is what we're also gonna do, and they're using the RGB, the hex code, CMYK for digital print, and the PMS code for other prints. Here they also are specifying the clearing space, minimum a clear space around the logo so that objects do not come too close to the logo when designing something. And this is how the logo can be used in colors. We're going to do a similar thing also. And here they're showing how they're using the watermark on top of the videos. And here, very important also in brand guidelines is to show what not to do. So for example, they don't want you to use the white logo on a red background, and so on, and so on, and so on. And for example, here is a stretch version of the logo. This is also something you want to avoid. And here also something that's kind of like a frame around the logo, you also want to avoid. And also rotating the logo and using it with backgrounds that are kind of, busy and do not make you really be able to read the logo. And this is, I believe, one of their older variations, so this they want you also to avoid. And here also a couple other things. So they don't want you to use the logo on, for example, floor mats or things that you walk on, because they don't want their logo to be seen in combination with dirt or combination with floors. You know, it kind of already creates an image of, you know, the logo is connected to something dirty, something nasty, something you don't want to touch. So that's everything here is what they want to avoid. For example, also scratch offs like dartboards and surfaces where you kind of that are supposed to be scratched or destroyed. And here also avoid putting the logo on disposable items that you are that you crunch and you put and throw into the trash. So again, the brand wants to avoid you to think of them as being something thrown in the trash or something, you know, just being crumpled and thrown on the floor. So, and here again, also avoid food. They don't want the logo to be sliced, bitten, or digested. So again, they kind of like want you to avoid the logo or the brand to be in combination with something that's sliced, bitten, or digested. So these are very important things big brands really do have. For now, we are going to do something more simple, but let's quickly also take a look at the NASA one. NASA one is really old school, I have to say. I feel like those were like printed papers, and so they're starting off with the way you use their logo. Let's see, their logo in combination with colors and prints, and then how their colors look printed. And then they kind of, I think this is what the incorrect uses are of the logo. So again, they're giving multiple variations of what not to do. Put in a frame, put in a circle, add patterns to it. Yeah, you can do several things with the logo. So, so this is important to show what not to do. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, Netflix biscuit. Would be actually pretty cool, but since they don't want you to do that, you as their designer, if you would design biscuits for them, that would be a no-go totally. And again, they're showing some icons that they're using, some badges and so on, and then the print size of the logo. So this is very important. You can, for example, depending on the size of the print you want to produce for NASA, you can pick one of these size variations and no other. And here again, lockups with their of their logo, with a subtitle or brand description, National Aeronautics and Space Administration, and there's several ways to kind of align it to the logo. And this is what they're showing, the different sizing and the different lockups that you are supposed to use. Yeah, and as you can see, there's their color, very, very important, the color and the logo. Those are the most important things. And then they go into detail more like how to create letterheads and what typefaces to use, how to use the logo in different situations. All right, and now the North Face is a little bit different. This is more like a modern brand, and their contents kind of divide into visual identity, brand identity, and interpretation. So here we have, for example, the logo and how it's used on a black and white photo, and then the visual identity, type, and color. So they are specifying the colors. Here they are only showing the hex codes, and their typeface, of course, and the different thicknesses of the typeface that you're supposed to use. And here we're getting closer, for example, onto the product descriptions and so on. So everything is very, very specified, just because sometimes you have multiple designers working on one thing, and this is very helpful to understand how to create something for a brand. And it's also really helpful for the designers themselves to not do anything wrong. Okay, now that we gained some little inspiration, I would like to go on to our brand guidelines, and I would like you to see what I've already started off with. So I have provided you with a starter file that's basically divided into multiple sections, and here the sections could be, for example, so here I have this little intro page, and then I have a little about page where I'm describing what the brand is about. And then I'm also including a little letter where I'm saying, dear colleagues, over the years, Foodies has gained a reputation for its exceptional dining experience. As we move ahead and are building a franchise, we would like you to follow the rules stated in this brand guideline to remain the look and feel of this brand over the different locations and media platforms. So you're basically saying, please use this brand guideline because it's very important for our brand to grow and to maintain the same brand experience over the different locations. And then sincerely, Julia Masalska. Okay, so this is what I would actually do, and I would start off the first thing, the logo. So I just grabbed the logo that we already had in our challenge 1, and I've just grabbed this, and we had a word mark and a letter mark. So I just grabbed it in here, and what you can do is you can create a little like spacing guideline, taking one of the letters from your logo. Or you can also use here in the letter mark example, you can use the whole letter mark and just put it around. The most important thing is that you always use the same length here. So this is, for example, if somebody puts your logo on a poster, that the text that's also on the poster is not coming too close. So this is how you kind of give them the proportion of the space around the logo that has to be maintained. So here what I did is I just copied and pasted. We can actually do this one once again real quick so you guys get an understanding. So I grabbed my logo here. Let me see where it is. Okay, I just grabbed my two logos, copy, Command C, and Command V, I paste them. And of course, even here, I use the brand colors that I already kind of decided on. And I'm using my light and bright contrast, even to create the brand guidelines. So here the background is, for example, my charcoal gray that is also part of my, my colors, my brand colors. Okay, so I'm using this light gray that was also one of my colors here. Okay, and here I already have kind of assigned my word mark and my letter mark. So all you have to do here is to be very precise. You have to create a rectangle around this logo that's exactly covering the surface area of the logo. So this is very important. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, so I inverted the colors. Now my color is the outline, and here I'm going to work on the stroke a little bit. I'm going to make it a little bit thinner, so I'm going to make it about a 0.5 point, and then I'm going to click on this little stroke word up here. If you can see that, if I click on that, it gives me the exact options for my stroke. Now I want to create a dashed line, and here I can give exact descriptions how my dashed line should look like. So I already decided that I want 2.2.2. I want it to be very dense, but also kind of almost like made of dots. So now I have my dashed line, as you can see right here. So now I'm going to decrease the opacity just a little bit so it's not that dominant. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to create this frame just around the logo, and it has to be very, very precise around the logo. So, oops, I didn't want to do that. Okay, so now I have my logo almost framed. Okay, and the importance of that is to understand the proportions. So let me just pull out this copy and pull out the complete logo, the complete letter mark. So, and here I'm going to decrease the opacity to let's say around 6%. It has to be barely visible. You just have to kind of have an understanding, okay, this is how she puts the logo there. And the same thing I'm going to do here, and then I'm going to copy paste both of these, and I'm just going to save some time and copy paste them both at the same time. And I'm going to align these exactly the same way around here. And now I'm going to copy paste my dashed line, and I'm going to pull it all around this, just so that the designer has an understanding of where to put the text and to not come too close to the letter mark. Okay, now we have this, and this is already done so far, and we're going to do the same thing for this one. Here you can just pick a letter, as I said. So here I'm just going to pick the D. I'm going to copy paste with Command C and Command V. I'm going to paste it. All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. You can either put the letter this way, or you can put it horizontally. It doesn't, I mean, matters if you make the decision, okay, it has to be horizontal, so then you really have to stick to it. And then I'm going to copy the opacity of the other one, and I'm gonna do the same thing around here. I'm just gonna place it all around this logo, just to give an understanding of how much space it needs around it. And one of the most important things here also is when you copy paste a letter, do not scale it, because it has to be the exact size of the D inside the logo. Just because who knows how much you scale it. So the whole reason of this whole thing kind of loses its sense. Okay. So now I'm gonna do the same thing here. Just gonna pull this dashed line all around. Cool. Hi, Johnny, William, Steven, Harsh. Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining. And Tim, of course. Yeah, thanks for sharing the link, Tim. Everybody head out to the link, and this is where you find our chat for the submissions. Cool. All right, so we have our primary logo already defined, and we can also add some, for example, we can add some examples of how not to use it. So let's do that real quick. So I can do that. Okay, and now I am going to write use of logo, and then I'm going to write correct or incorrect. Correct and incorrect. So correct basically shows on how to use the logo in different colors or different, you know, different settings. So for example, let's say putting a logo on top of a gradient. So I'm going to copy paste this. Correct, and I'm going to take my gradient that I did the other day. Where was it? Oh, actually, I'm just gonna copy paste these patterns as well while I'm at it, because I'm going to use those as well. Okay, and my burgers, we can also just add those into the CC library. That is also possible. Okay, and this is my gradient. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it in here. Whoops, I think it was locked probably. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to unlock this. Command C, Command V, and I have my gradient here that I have used before. So now I can set this as a rule. Okay, and I'm going to go put this in the background, arrange, send to back. Oh, okay, I see. I'm going to bring these to the front. Okay, so now correct way is doing that. And incorrect way will be, for example, let's say my logo is dark. An incorrect way will be, I don't know, using the logo like this, or what else can it be? We can do some really weird things to it. I mean, you guys can get creative on how not to use it. Let's see what else we can do. Let's say we want to transform it somehow. Yeah, this type of incorrect. I mean, okay. Yeah, something like this. Really get creative with it. You can do anything, but usually the brands, what they do is they take variations of something that they have experienced before, and they say, this is not the way to use our logo. So that would be a reason to put it in the brand guidelines. Or I also don't want it to be used in the frame, for example. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a really ugly frame right around the logo. like this. Okay, yeah, this is not how I want my logo to look like in any asset. Okay, so I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so I can fit some more variations. But you guys can get really creative here. It's actually a very fun part on putting things the way you don't want them. And also very important here, the shadow, the drop shadow effect. Drop shadow right there. Oh yeah, a very ugly drop shadow. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is incorrect use. Correct use will be this, or it will be just that. And then let's quickly jump. You guys can get creative with that and make sure to align this nicely so it's so it's nice to look at. Although it's really ugly, but it's still good to look at. Okay, now I'm going to bring in the brand colors right here, and I'm going to put a little frame around them, like a white frame, so you can differentiate it from the background color. Or what you can also do is, what I like to do is making kind of like something that looks like swatches. So you can also do something like this. Let's say like that, and then you make another swatch in here. And then you take your color. And underneath you can paste the code, the color code. So here I'm just going to make another text box. I'm going to copy that text style. And I'm going to make it smaller, way smaller, of course. And of course it needs to be black in order for us to see it. Okay, and now I'm going to take a look at my hex code. Here, you can find the hex code down here. And you can also, of course, use the CMYK settings, whatever you want. Okay, and I'm going to copy paste it here. And this is my hex code for my brand color. And this I'm going to do to all the colors. Okay, here I'm going to maybe increase the size a little bit just so it's visible, and I'm going to make it a little bit more bold. Bold, not bald. Okay, so for example, this could be a swatch, and then you can even add more. You can add RGB color, or you can even add the Pantone color. Just get really creative with it. And then what you can also do in the next slide, so if I am just going to copy paste this, then you can also go ahead in the next slide and start with the typefaces. So here my typefaces are Belly Display and Acumen Variable Display. So what you can do is you can even use this here, like that. And then you can also identify, really make the fonts show by making a box of the typeface. So let's say this is going to be Belly Display, and here you do something like that, AA, BB, CC, and so on, and put the whole alphabet in it, just so you get kind of the person who is viewing this gets an idea on how this typeface looks like. And the same thing I would do with Acumen Variable Concept. And here it's also important to show what type of thicknesses you're using. Are you using bold? Are you using light? And in which, just defining every single thing that you can possibly define. All right, guys, let me know if there is any questions so far. Yeah, I know. Last 5 minutes, Tunch. I know it is really hard to create a whole brand guideline in only 30 minutes. But look, I kind of showed you already what to start with. So you can really go ahead and do it for your own brand, or just make something up. Why not? So what I did also here is that you will find is that I use the same typefaces that I'm using for my brand, even in my brand guideline, because even the brand guideline is part of a brand. So it has to be on brand as well. Of course, it's a little bit challenging for you guys, but I'm really confident you can do it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to export this whole artboard. So we are going to go ahead and pull it down all the way, and then I'm going to go ahead and file, export for screens, just because we're going to share this in Discord, and then we're going to export the artboard, and then you can see the whole brand guideline. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I hope you guys have understood it so far. Let me take a look if it shows up here already in my files. Okay, let's see. Challenge 5. Okay, I can't find it right now, but I'm sure you guys are more organized than me in finding the files. But anyway, I'm really looking forward to your guys' submissions. I'm going to be live on the Discord today, and again, here really quick, the Discord link right there, bit.ly/AI Discord. And I will see you guys in a little bit at Discord, and make sure to submit. I'm really happy to look through all of your artwork. You guys have been so amazing so far. So thank you all so much for sticking around with me also. Thanks Jennifer, Mustafa, Monica, cool. Yes, no, you don't export for Behance right now, you just export it for the Discord channel. But of course you can use that for your Behance project later on as well if you like. It's definitely a good way to show a whole case study. And yeah, thank you all so much for joining and for tuning in. For all of you who are new, welcome. And tomorrow I will see you all guys, same time, same place. Bye bye.